Minions and Associates. I haven't adjusted my camera or anything yet. This light sure is hard on me. Let's see, is that better? Let's see if I do it this way. Anyway, I will try to put on a little bit more light. Let's do that. All right. Greetings, Minions and Associates. If you are already a minion and you would like to tithe, please hit like. If you would like to become a minion, please hit follow. If you would like to confess, please do so in the comments. And if you would like to evangelize, please share. So today I have not really done much prep of anything. I got in a hyper-focused moment of hyper-focus, and just decided to pop up the news here as I got here. Now, this is interesting. Missing 18-year-old from Dayton, Ohio. You know, and the funny thing is that the first thing I came up with was, this is the very first story that I came up with. It's its very first story here. And my, Howdy King, the thumb I made, the first word in it was missing. Autistic children everywhere. And, the reason why I made that thumb today is I wanted to talk about missing kids, in particularly autistic missing kids. I think I'm gonna offer I'm gonna offer a question just to stir up controversy. Every week there are kids, 4-year-old kids that end up drowned dead because they eloped. Now, this is not the parents' fault, and I am in no way blaming the parents. I've had it happen to me. Okay, and some kids do it all the time. Mine didn't do it all the time, thankfully. Instead, I had a mother-in-law that did. I had to, I had to lock the gate on our property to keep her in because she would try to wander off. Anyway, so our first story here is about an 18-year-old. I don't know about this story. 18-year-old from Dayton who was diagnosed of autism, who has a diagnosis of autism. Wow. Okay, this is very interesting. A missing 18-year-old from Dayton who has a diagnosis of autism. Wow. That's really strange. Yeah, I've never seen it phrase I used way before. Usually it's with autism, separating the person from the disease. It says with it who has a diagnosis of autism. That's pretty cool. Has been found safe. Christina Pettis was last seen at 7:10 p.m. Wednesday, according to an alert issued Thursday afternoon. So they're really not going to get into it a lot, but just another story of, here's an 18-year-old. So this is technically an adult. Oh, lab-grown mini brains may have just confirmed a leading theory about autism. Oh boy. Vision voicemail. She meant FaceTime. Vision voicemail. Vision voicemail. That's FaceTime. Let's do vision voicemail. Hey, that's FaceTime. Let's do vision voicemail. Yes. That makes sense. That totally makes sense. That's that. Hey Trevor, how you doing? Let's see. Do you work today, Trevor? I get your schedule. I got your schedule screwed up. I think you work what, Sunday through Thursday or some stuff. Uh oh. Okay, I will check it out on Facebook, on Discord. Uh, I will bring it up right now. Okay, it's funny in this picture. It looks like it's just she's showing up condoms or something. Those are probably petri dishes of some sort. Anyway, excessive brain growth in the womb has been directly tied to autism in toddlers. New research involving lab grown mini brains. Yes, our brains grow prematurely. They grow prematurely fast in some respects. That's it. That is. Scientists may have confirmed a theory about origins of autism by creating miniature 3D replicas of brains. These tiny brains, derived from stem cells of toddlers, were grown to show what children's brains would have looked like as they developed in the womb. Oh my God. They're creating like little fucking human beings in there. That's like if you were to grow, if you grow brains, that's one thing. If you grow fully developed brains, that's fucked up, because that's a human being right there. Now, if you just grow arms and legs and hearts and bladders and things like that, so what? But if you grow a full brain, you're actually, and they're calling them mini brains, so they're not a full brain. But yeah, if they became self-aware or whatever, or felt pain or stuff like that, that wouldn't be cool. Scientists drew stem cells from the blood of 10 toddlers with autism. Um, Notice how I always say with autism. And 6 toddlers without the disorder. Oh, now we're getting into ableist speech. We did so good at that beginning that I was even floored. I was stopped by it. One of these days, I'm going to read an article, and it's not going to be completely ableist all the way through. Scientists drew stem cells from the blood of 10 toddlers with autism and 6 toddlers without the disorder. At the time, the kids were between 1 and 2 years old. Using growth induced chemicals, researchers grew mini brains or brain organoids from these stem cells in the lab. As they grew, the organoids accurately captured key aspects of how human brain development functions in the womb. Because each organoid was grown from a toddler's own tissue, it could be considered a mini version of a given child's brain. Oh my God. During the first trimester of pregnancy, as if the scientist has turned back the developmental clock. Okay, this is getting a little bit weird. I'm getting a little bit uncomfortable with this. If you're regrowing a brain, you're growing a fucking human being. I don't give a shit what the fuck anybody says. If you're growing a human brain, you're growing a human being. You can grow skulls, you can grow eyeballs, you can grow fingers, you can grow noses, you can grow anything else. But if you're growing a brain, you're growing a human being. That's what makes us who we are. That's why I don't want to be cured, because it would be changing my brain. Yeah, it's really, I find it extremely fascinating, King. You're right. It is. I understand what you mean. It's kind of cool in that respect, but it's also terrifying. That they think that that's okay. Anyway, moving right along, because they're going to do it anyway, whether I like it or not. The researchers tracked on how the size and growth of these organoids changed during these stages of embryonic development. In addition, they assessed the severity of each toddler's present day autism symptoms, including their ability to pay attention and to communicate with others, their language skills, and their IQ. Now, that's interesting as hell. So, just by studying these organoids, they were able to basically anticipate the type, well, I guess, do you want to say severity? Autism's symptoms, the symptomology, I guess, probably, and the severity of it too. Even the team also took scans of the toddlers' actual brains to look at the activity of different cells, especially those in brain regions associated with skills and language. Teams found that the brain's organoids, I love it. I love these organoids of toddlers with autism grew almost 3 times faster than those without autism. Have you ever seen new prison offer with AI implementation to the alternative to serving time? No. No, I have not seen that. But the thing is this is what I'm going to be offering here, and I haven't figured out how to frame this yet, King. But okay, if you could put a chip, an AirPod type chip, in a kid, in an autistic kid that you knew eloped all the time, so that you could track them, would it not be inhumane not to put that chip in them? This is to save their life. So, so yeah, but wouldn't that be make you a horrible person, King? Because you wouldn't do that to save your child's life? Wouldn't that make you just a horrible person? What, you don't want to save your child's life who's autistic and might wander off and go die? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now see how that could be pushed, and see how that could be pushed is not only okay, but as they I could see people being guilted into that. And is that ethically okay? Or is it something we should ethically do? I know it gives me the heebie jeebies too, but if I had a child now, like I have 2 grandchildren, and one of them eloped all the time, I would certainly consider it. I wouldn't have a problem with it if that kid took off all the time. I wouldn't have a problem with it. At the same time, it creeps me out. It creeps me out. It brings out, like, all this um uh Twilight Zone, Tales from the Crypt kind of thing. Yeah, they give them lithium. That's how they'll give them lithium. But I could see how it could also be sold just like ABA. Like if you don't give your kid ABA, I know a lot of parents have been guilted and felt like they had to give their kid ABA, or if they didn't give their kid ABA, that they would be horrible person. You know, I can't do lithium. Yeah, yeah. They gave me lithium when I went to the state hospital, and it took me 6 months after I left and was off of it before I could read again. It screwed up my brain to where I couldn't keep my eyes on the paper and pay attention. It took me about a month to read one book, and usually a book like that, I could read that, and well, it didn't take me a month. I think it took me about a week. But a book like that, I could have read in half a day easy. Um, but that was just uh, that. Anyway, so yeah, I could see how it could be definitely sold into a lot of ways. Yeah, it could be, and I can definitely see people who would be like, "Oh hell, I ain't putting a chip in my kid like a dog," you know? Right, right. And if you literally think about, yeah, over the benefit, yeah, no benefit. The benefit is to everybody around because the autistic person is now not throwing temper tantrums because they're so drugged up they can't experience life. And that's what lithium does. It shuts people down so much that they can't even think straight. Hey, yeah, compared to actual literal dog training. Well, the thing is this. Well, let's just look at it that way. It's okay to put a chip in a dog's ear. So, why not a human? You know? Wow. Yeah, my word. That's scary. That's really scary. Well, the thing is, and I am being serious here, King. Um, a lot of times, with the watches and the things like that, the kids will rip them off and figure out ways to rip them off. I've seen problems with the kids, and what I hate to see is, depending on the state and depending on how stupid the judges and the police are, there's a lot of times where parents are going to be prosecuted because their kids did elope. It's not their fault their kid's autistic. It's not their fault their kid took off, but they're still going to be prosecuted for child abuse or child neglect because their kid got into something, a swimming pool or whatever, and then the parents are going to be prosecuted when it really wasn't their fault. So, with this being said, if they were wearing watches or ankle bracelets or something like that, yeah, and they took those off all the time, then would it, in some circumstance, be a reasonable thing to do is to put a chip in a human being to or a child to make sure that they're safe? And because we can pull up stories this week, we can pull them up right now. Um, we can pull them up. I guarantee you, at least one kid will put autistic child dies, and there will be one this week, at least. Okay, here we go. Missing 6-year-old boy with autism dies after being pulled 8 days ago. 8 days ago. This is 8 days ago. This is making me wrong. There's got to be one more. Okay. Nope. Nope. There's nope. 8 days ago. Um, hit by a car on the 30th, 4 months ago. Okay, so 8 days ago, I was wrong. I was the day off. That's last week. Let's see if I can find one this week. Of course, I don't want any autistic child to do. 1 day ago, missing 12-year-old girl with autism found dead in lake near Texas home. Our hearts are heavy. So, let's take this little girl, Ashia. If Ashia had had a chip in her arm or something like that to where they could track her. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there's all kinds of horrible things that this stuff. I'm not saying this is cool or anything else. But I am saying that Aisha here could possibly be alive if it was okay, if she had had a chip put in her, particularly if she eloped a lot. Body of missing 12-year-old girl with autism has been found after um, police say she drowned, and that's the most common one I'm finding. Like 90% of the time when they're found, they've drowned. I don't know why little autistic kids have to freaking go near the damn water. I know I love the water. I'll tell you that. That's the first place I would have gone to. And I ain't going to lie there. Please continue to provide updates. Was last seen walking from her house on security camera Wednesday, June 26th. And right now it is the 28th.